So over the weekend, I was covering New York Comic-Con for Newsarama, which is why this review is going up late. But I did a number of interviews for Newsarama, and one was with the Legend of Korra people, more specifically Brian Konietzko, the co-creator of the show. And after the camera stopped rolling, we talked a little bit more, because I'm such a big Korra fan, and it was interesting to see that he is frustrated about the way viewers are reacting to Korra in Season 2. He didn't have any ill will towards anybody, he wasn't angry, but again, frustrated with viewers' own frustration with the way Korra is being portrayed. Now, to hear him tell it, Korra has to go in this direction, for the sake of drama. You don't want a character always to be at one level, is the way he described it. You want your ups and downs. So he feels that knowing where the story is going, they're writing book 4 right now, he feels ultimately fans will be rewarded, and he likened it to similar controversy with Zuko. I believe it was in book 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender. He felt there were similar frustrations, but at the end, everybody was thrilled. Now, I wasn't watching Avatar: The Last Airbender while it was being aired. I was late to the party, and I watched it all on Netflix in just 3 weeks. So I can't really compare the two fan reactions, but as we've been discussing here, we're annoyed by Korra. And I would say that despite the creative intentions behind the scenes of what to do with the character, I think you have to be careful because, at least to me at this point, just the sight of Korra or the sound of her voice is annoying. And that's how I felt at the end of this episode when she returned, because I was having such a good time. And I think it says something that the first episode that I've enjoyed of book 2 is the one where Korra doesn't make an appearance. But there has to be more to it than that. The episode could still be bad even if she wasn't in it. So for the rest of the weekend, after I'd watched it and was unable to shoot this review, I thought about why was it that I thought that, The Sting was my favorite episode to date. And the answer I came away with was that, for once, The Legend of Korra was just doing its own thing. It wasn't trying to reach back to the past. And as much as I love the Tenzin storyline, and as much as I want the past to be filled in, because like you, I'm such a big Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, maybe that's not fair to this new group of characters. And maybe, as much as it would be frustrating to me to not get some answers, maybe this isn't the place, and maybe Legend of Korra should focus more on its present day and what's happening to these characters and how they should evolve. Because that's what this episode was about. It was about both Mako and Asami evolving as characters, and to some degree Bolin as well. But that was kind of like the B storyline, and I don't think he's evolving. He seems to be devolving. But just a small step back here about what I was saying about the future. That's one of the things I liked about Legend of Korra from the beginning, how it was able to so refreshingly and accurately portray the future of Aang's world, what had happened after he'd left it. And I thought that the way they, had, kind of a steampunk feel, but they kept a lot of the Asian influences, really worked well and was very clever and great world building. And of course, Asami's company is named Future Industries. So I think the future is a big part of The Legend of Korra, and I think that for some reason, largely I think due to fan demand, that's not been lived up to as part of the show's promise. But as far as Asami goes, she was great. It was so nice to see her back in the spotlight. I think a lot of us feared we'd lost her because she was no longer part of a love triangle with Korra and Mako. But maybe not so fast. Maybe there still is a love triangle there. Although, Asami, you're being way too aggressive in your play for Mako. Let him come to you. I think staring all teary-eyed into his eyes is enough. I think that the kiss was a bit much. But I guess Asami is a modern woman. But for his part, I thought Mako handled the whole exchange with it very maturely, and I was impressed. And I'm also impressed with Mako, the detective. I think this is a great direction for the character. I think he did a really good job, and I thought it was a nice new take for the show. Although on the same note, I thought Lin Beifong's dismissal of his theories was very odd, very out of character. Maybe it would be like Lin Beifong at the beginning of book 1 of The Legend of Korra, but her character had a lot of growth that season, so to see her go back to someone, who doesn't even want to hear in confidence what Mako is thinking was a little disappointing, especially because she's my favorite character. So as for the show, Really enjoying this. It's so exciting to think that, this is what we could be getting on a regular basis. I hope this has been a turning point for the season. I hope that this is what we'll be continuing to get. I'm a little disappointed we're going to go back to Korra, even if she does have amnesia. I'm not a big fan of amnesia storylines, by the way, so I'm not too happy about having to sit through that. But we are going to get, I believe, the origin of the Avatar up next, the very first Avatar, so that should be very interesting. I'm hearing very good things about that episode from when they've showed bits and pieces, and I believe actually the whole thing at the New York Comic-Con, good word of mouth, so I'm excited. But again, it's looking to the past. What do you think? Do you want more future in The Legend of Korra, or are you all about the past? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you for your patience for this review, and you can check out some more episodes right now.